In this video, we'll be discussing all of the newest and best tyres for the coming summer season, covering both Europe and North America. I'm sorry to say, but 2024 is shaping up to be a rather boring year for tyres. As far as I'm aware, there's only two new big name products in the fun UHP summer segment, the Vredestein Ultrac Pro, which replaces the Vredestein Ultrac 40 Plus, and the Falken Azenis FK820. But there are a few new interesting tyres in other segments I'll discuss later in the video. The Vredestein Ultrac Pro has only been tested once so far this year in Auto Build Sports Car and actually placed pretty well, higher than I expected the 40 would have. The test used an AMG GT, which has pretty massive front and rear tyres, and the new Vredestein finished behind the Continental SportContact 7 and Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, but ahead of the Bridgestone Potenza Sport and tyres from Hankook and Goodyear. The testers did comment that it was a very quiet and comfortable tyre, but it also noticed that it did have a slightly delayed steering response. So it seems Vredestein is sadly heading the way everyone is for the performance summer tyre segment, i.e. they're making the tyres less fun to drive fast, but a better overall product. You might have noticed that the test did not place the tyre review's favourite, the Goodyear Eagle F1 Supersport, too well. Like in my test, the wet grip just wasn't up to the best of the test, but the testers did note that it was their favourite tyre on dry handling, so it still seems to be a good option for those who like track day use. As for the Falken Azenis FK820, well, I am excited about this tyre. Falken are calling it an SUHP tyre, a Super UHP. While this is another acronym we definitely don't need, currently TireRack.com and myself call that category maximum performance, and other manufacturers are calling it UUHP as in ultra high performance. I do like the sound of Super UHP, it just sounds like cool. Anyway, this segment, whatever we're going to call it, is the segment the Continental SportContact 7 and Michelin Pilot Sport 4S do sit in. No one has tested the new FK820 against the rivals yet. I have been trying, but the sizes I want, which are the M2, M3 sizes, are not yet available to market. So expect a summer test from me later this year with the two new tyres included. Subscribe for that. Due to the lack of new tyres so far this year, I've not actually got around to my own testing. I just haven't been inspired to go to the effort and use the time. I'm waiting to get these new tyres. But this is the time of year everyone wants summer tyre information, so I've done the next best thing for this video. I've meta and analysed all the other tests released this year to find out if anything has changed since my test last year, and honestly, not that much has. If you're in Europe and you're looking for a more comfort-biased sporty tyre, the Continental PremiumContact 7 is still the best of the best, with the Goodyear Eagle F1 Asymmetric 6 and the Michelin Pilot Sport 5 still doing very well. I've tested all three of these tyres, sometimes multiple times, so go check out those videos if you want a more in-depth comparison or information. They'll be linked in the description. In the UUHP or SUHP segment, the Continental SportContact 7 is still the tyre to have. It's won every test it's been in, including mine, and the internet will be mad if I don't mention the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. It's getting old, but it's still very good. If you're looking to take your SUV off-road on performance summer tyres, yeah, I don't really know why either, but Auto Build have tested it, and it turns out the Goodyear Eagle F1 Asymmetric 6 is the best for that. I'm not sure why it was a test, especially it was using a really off-road biased Audi Q5 and a 235/55 19-inch performance tyre size, but the data is on tyrereviews.com if you want to go check it out. The Bridgestone Potenza Sport was the best on gravel. That's a piece of information I didn't need to know, but I kind of love. In North America, you'll still be looking primarily at the Pilot Sport 4S, as you don't really get the Pilot Sport 5, and the Continental ExtremeContactSport 02. These two tyres seem to trade blows in user reviews and tyre tests in terms of performance, while the Conti often is a little bit better value. I have of course tested them on the road and the track if you want to dig into that pairing. If you're looking for a European all-season tyre, hopefully you've seen my recent tyre test, as there's been 3 new tyres in that segment, which is very exciting. These new tyres have just about dethroned the Michelin CrossClimate 2 as the best of the best. The Michelin is still right up there at the sharp end, apart from maybe in the wet. But the new Continental AllSeasonContact 2, which replaces the AllSeasonContact, the new Bridgestone Turanza AllSeason 6, which replaces the A005 Evo, and the new Pirelli Cinturato SF3, which replaces the SF2, are definitely worth your consideration now. The full in-depth test will be linked in the description. I've said it before if you want to check it out. If you're in North America, you'll call that previous group of tyres all-weather tyres, as you already had your own special all-season tyres when this segment started emerging. You'll be happy to know that you do have new tyres as well, the Nokian WRG5 and the Falken Aklimate. Sadly, as of filming, no one has tested them yet, so the US version of the Michelin CrossClimate 2, which is slightly different from the EU version, is probably still the one to get for now, but I'm sure both of the new tyres are excellent. There is also, of course, the Bridgestone Weatherpeak, which people love, but I've yet to experience myself. As for ultra-high performance all-season tyres, I have tested a bunch of these in the Michelin Pilot Sport All-Season 4, lovingly shortened to PS4, and the Continental ExtremeContact DWS06 Plus are consistently the best of the best. But the new Pirelli P0 AS Plus 3 is testing very well. The Falken Azenis FK460 AS is proving to be good value. And finally, the Bridgestone Potenza Sport AS, which replaces the Bridgestone Potenza RE980 AS Plus. What a name. Felt very good on the product launch, and it's tested well in TyreX test this year. So I expect that Japanese tyre to be a great choice this year. If you've tried it, I do want to hear from you. I will be digging into the 200 treadwear category a lot this year with the new Tyre Reviews M3, so subscribe for that. But speaking with a bunch of racers, it seems the Bridgestone Potenza RE71 RS is a very fast tyre and surprisingly consistent for a Super 200 category. I ran it last week actually in a sort of a mini pre-test, and I really did like it. There'll be a video coming out at the end of this month covering some of that. It is shaping up to be a very exciting year for all-terrain tyres with new products from two of the kings of the segment, BF Goodrich and Falken. The new BF Goodrich All-Terrain TA KO3, that's such a long name, came out in OE fitments last year, but we will see a much wider rollout of aftermarket sizes this year. And as the KO2 was one of the strongest tyres in the segment, I can't see why the KO3 wouldn't be one of the very best again. Looking to take the fight directly to BF Goodrich and the KO3 is the new Falken Wildpeak AT4W. I'm not sure which of the previous two tyres got more love online, the KO2 or the AT3W. Both of them were hugely popular and at the very top of the game. So finding out which of these two new products is going to come out on top is going to be really fun for me. I'll be arranging a test of these two as soon as I possibly can. I'm currently still waiting for the KO3 to be released in the sizes I need. That said, I'm really enjoying the Nokian Outpost NATs on my Cayenne at the moment. My wife's car is still on the Continental PremiumContact 80s that won my mild all-terrain test a few years back. Great tyre, great test, worth checking out if you're looking for that kind of mild all-terrain tyre segment. As is actually the Firestone Destination 82. That was a very good all-round tyre too. Then of course there's the standard all-season tyre segment in North America for car and truck. Honestly, I just don't know what's new this year as I've not been able to keep up to date. Let me know if you know something that's good and exciting. I do know that if you drive something massive, the new Defender LTX Platinum, which is a tyre from Michelin, will have the best looking sidewall of the group, plus it has some pretty sweet locking tread channels that get wider with wear, all part of Michelin's total life performance. People are also saying really nice things about the Defender 2 online. So here's a reminder, go online, review your tyres at tyrereviews.com if you haven't already. Finally, EV tyres. Yep, I've still not got around to testing these properly, though I have been doing more with electric vehicles recently, and sadly no one else has either. The biggest today has actually been finding a good test field in the same size where they're not all OE marked tyres, as we don't test OE tyres in comparison tests. But the good news is we're pretty much there now. I just need the time and the money and everything else to come together to do it. Coming soon. I realise I do say that every year. Off the record, I think the Hankook Iron Range is still getting a lot of good reviews online. And I'm afraid that's about it for this video. Apologies, it hasn't been a groundbreaking video. Tyres have been pretty boring over the start of this year. In fact, I wasn't actually going to make this video, but people kept asking me, so here you are. There really is lots of cool stuff scheduled for later this year, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. To see why the tyres I've mentioned are the best of the best, go check out last year's test and everything's linked in the description. There is a good chance I've missed something out. I'm just one person, so feel free to let me know in the comments. Any questions, ask of course, and as always, safe motoring.